Every single day in the United States, more than 100 people lose their lives to gun related violence. That means that even in the next few minutes, while we sit here together, more families will be shattered, more communities will be grieving, and more lives will be cut short in an instant. This isn't just something we hear about on the news. It's not distant, and it's not rare. Gun violence affects all of us, whether directly or indirectly. It impacts our schools, our neighborhoods, and even our sense of safety when we walk outside or sit in a classroom. That's why this issue matters. Today, I want to persuade you of one clear idea. Gun safety laws should be strengthened because they reduce gun violence, protect communities, and help prevent unnecessary deaths. I didn't form this opinion randomly. I looked at credible research from organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Pew Research Center, and the Giffords Law Center. I also conducted my own survey to better understand how everyday people feel about this issue. First, I'll explain the problem of gun violence in the United States. Then, I'll discuss how stronger gun safety laws can reduce harm. And finally, I'll explain the benefits these laws can have for individuals and communities. When you look at the facts, one thing becomes very clear. Gun violence in the United States is not just a problem, it's a crisis. According to national data, firearm-related deaths are one of the leading causes of death in this country. And compared to other developed nations, in the United States has significantly higher rates of gun deaths. But what's even more concerning is that it's not just about mass shootings. While those are tragic and highly visible, they are only part of the story. Gun violence also includes suicides, domestic violence, and accidental shootings that happen every single day. For example, imagine a situation where a child finds an unsecured firearm at home. These situations happen more often than many people realize. In just seconds, a preventable tragedy can occur, one that impacts families forever. At the same time, there are clear gaps in our current gun laws. Background checks are not always required for private or online sales, which creates loopholes that allow certain individuals to access firearms when they shouldn't be able to. And this concern isn't just based on research, it showed up in my survey as well. Many people expressed concern or uncertainty about how effective current laws are. That tells us something important. People recognize that something isn't working. Now that we understand the seriousness of the problem, the next question becomes, what can we do about it? The answer is not to eliminate rights, it's to strengthen safety. One of the most effective solutions is universal background checks. This helps ensure that firearms don't end up in the hands of people who may pose a risk. They also close loopholes in private and online sales, making the system more consistent and effective. Research shows that a majority of Americans support universal background checks, and my survey reflected that same pattern. About 78% of respondents said they believe gun safety laws should be strengthened. That's a strong majority. Another important solution is safe storage laws. These laws require gun owners to securely store their firearms, which helps prevent accidental shootings and keeps guns out of the hands of children. In my survey, over 55% of people agreed that safe storage should be required. That shows that many people see this as a practical and necessary step, not something extreme, but something responsible. We also have red flag laws which allow for the temporary removal of firearms from individuals who may be a danger to themselves or others. These laws are designed to prevent tragedies before they happen. But what I found especially interesting in my survey is that when people were asked whether stricter gun laws would reduce violence, Many answered maybe or unsure. That tells us something important. People support safety measures, but they're not fully convinced of their impact. That means that part of the problem isn't just policy, it's awareness and understanding. And that's exactly why conversations like this matter. Now that we've looked at how stronger laws can reduce harm, let's look at the broader benefits these laws provide to society. Stronger gun safety laws don't just reduce violence, they improve lives. They make our communities safer. They reduce injuries and deaths. They help protect schools, families, and neighborhoods. They also reduce long-term costs, both financial and emotional. Gun violence places a heavy burden on healthcare systems, law enforcement, and families who are left to deal with trauma and loss. But beyond statistics and costs, there's something even more important: peace of mind. In my survey, several respondents said that they feel very or extremely concerned about gun violence in their communities. That fear is real, and no one should have to live with that kind of constant worry. When people feel safe, they can actually live their lives. Students can focus on school, families can enjoy public spaces, communities can grow and thrive without fear constantly in the background. When we step back and look at everything, the research, the statistics, and even the opinions of everyday people, the message is screaming clear. Gun violence is a serious problem. Stronger gun safety laws can help reduce that problem, and the benefits of those laws extend to all of society. This is not just a political issue, it's a human issue, and each of us has a role to play, whether that's staying informed, having conversations, or supporting policies that prioritize safety. Our choices matter, because at the end of the day, stronger gun safety laws are not about taking away rights. They are about saving lives. And the real question is not whether we can take action, but whether we will.